Greetings from Exam Heist. We have identified important exam questions. Practice these important questions 2-3 times to get 100% success in exam. Subscribe and comment, share PDF in the below comment section to get PDF of these 40 important questions. If you want to access full dump, please visit www.examheist.com. We have 24/7 support available for your doubts and exam queries.
Question 1. You are configuring project metrics for dashboards in Azure DevOps. You need to configure a chart widget that measures the elapsed time to complete work items once they become active. Which of the following is the widget you should use? Option A. Cumulative flow diagram. Option B. Burn up. Option C. Cycle time. Option D. Burn down. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, cycle time. Question 2. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. The burn up widget measures the elapsed time from creation of work items to their completion. Select "No adjustment required" if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. Option A. No adjustment required. Option B. Lead time. Option C. Test results trend. Option D. Burn down. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, lead time. Question 3. You are making use of Azure DevOps manage build pipelines and also deploy pipelines. The development team is quite large and is regularly added to. You have been informed that the management of users and licenses must be automated when it can be. Which of the following is a task that can't be automated? Option A. Group membership changes. Option B. License assignment. Option C. Assigning entitlements. Option D. License procurement. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, license procurement. Question 4. You have been tasked with strengthening the security of your team's development process. You need to suggest a security tool type for the continuous integration (CI) phase of the development process. Which of the following is the option you would suggest? Option A. Penetration testing. Option B. Static code analysis. Option C. Threat modeling. Option D. Dynamic code analysis. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, static code analysis. Question 5. Your company is currently making use of Team Foundation Server 2013, TFS 2013, but intend to migrate to Azure DevOps. You have been tasked with supplying a migration approach that allows for the preservation of Team Foundation version control change sets, dates, as well as the changes dates of work items revisions. The approach should also allow for the migration of all TFS artifacts, while keeping migration effort to a minimum. You have suggested upgrading TFS to the most recent RTW release. Which of the following should also be suggested? Option A. Installing the TFS Cover SDK. Option B. Using the TFS database import service to perform the upgrade. Option C. Upgrading PowerShell core to the latest version. Option D. Using the TFS integration platform to perform the upgrade. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, using the TFS database import service to perform the upgrade. Question 6. You are currently developing a project for a client that will be managing work items via Azure DevOps. You want to make sure that the work item process you use for the client allows for requirements, change requests, risks, and reviews to be tracked. Which of the following is the option you would choose? Option A. Basic. Option B. Agile. Option C. Scrum. Option D. CMMI. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, CMMI. Question 7. Note: the question is included in a number of questions that depicts the identical setup. However, every question has a distinctive result. Establish if the solution satisfies the requirements. You run the register Azure Room Automation DSC node command in your company's environment. You need to make sure that your company's test servers remain correctly configured, regardless of configuration drift. Solution: you set the configuration mode parameter to apply only. Does the solution meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, number. Question 8. Note: the question is included in a number of questions that depicts the identical setup. However, every question has a distinctive result. Establish if the solution satisfies the requirements. You run the register Azure Room Automation DSC node command in your company's environment. You need to make sure that your company's test servers remain correctly configured, regardless of configuration drift. Solution: you set the configuration mode parameter to apply and monitor. Does the solution meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, number. Question 9. Note: the question is included in a number of questions that depicts the identical setup. However, every question has a distinctive result. Establish if the solution satisfies the requirements. You run the register Azure Room Automation DSC node command in your company's environment. You need to make sure that your company's test servers remain correctly configured, regardless of configuration drift. Solution: you set the configuration mode parameter to apply and autocorrect. Does the solution meet the goal? Option A, yes. Option B, no. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, yes. Question 10. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. To compile an Internet Information Services (IaaS) web application that runs Docker, you should use a default build agent pool. Select "no adjustment required" if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. Option A, no adjustment required. Option B, hosted Windows container. Option C, hosted. Option D, hosted Mac OS. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, hosted Windows container. Question 11. Your company has an Azure DevOps environment that can only be accessed by Azure Active Directory users. You are instructed to make sure that the Azure DevOps environment can only be accessed from devices connected to the company's on-premises network. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, assign the devices to a security group. Option B, create a GPO. Option C, configure security in project settings from Azure DevOps. Option D, configure conditional access in Azure Active Directory. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, configure conditional access in Azure Active Directory. Question 12. You are making use of Azure DevOps to configure Azure pipelines for project named PROJ01. You are preparing to use a version control system that allows for source code to be stored on a managed Windows server located on the company network. Which of the following is the version control system you should use? Option A, GitHub Enterprise. Option B, Bitbucket Cloud. Option C, GitHub Professional. Option D, Git in Azure repos. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, GitHub Enterprise. Question 13. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. When moving to Azure DevOps, Jira must be replaced with the build pipeline's Azure DevOps service. Select no adjustment required if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. Option A, no adjustment required. Option B, repos. Option C, release pipelines. Option D, boards. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, boards. Question 14. You scan a Node.js application using white source bolt. The scan finds numerous libraries with invalid licenses, but are only used during development. You have to make sure that only production dependencies are scanned by white source bolt. Which of the following is a command you should run? Option A, npm edit. Option B, npm publish. Option C, npm install. Option D, npm update. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, npm install. Question 15. You are currently defining a release strategy for an app named app01. The strategy should allow you to keep the time it takes to deploy new releases of the app to a minimum. The strategy should also allow you to roll back in the shortest time required. Which of the following is the release strategy you should use? Option A, red, black deployment. Option B, rolling deployment. Option C, Big Bang deployment. Option D, canary deployment. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, red, black deployment. Question 16. Your company hosts a web application in Azure and makes use of Azure pipelines for managing the build and release of the application. When stakeholders report that system performance has been adversely affected by the most recent releases, you configure alerts in Azure Monitor. You are informed that new releases must satisfy specified performance baseline conditions in the staging environment before they can be deployed to production. You need to make sure that releases not satisfying the performance baseline are prevented from being deployed. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, you should make use of a branch control check. Option B, you should make use of an alert trigger. Option C, you should make use of a gate. Option D, you should make use of an approval check. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, you should make use of a gate. Question 17. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. To deploy an application to a number of Azure virtual machines, you should create a universal group. Select no adjustment required if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. Option A, no adjustment required. Option B, security. Option C, deployment. Option D, resource. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, deployment. Question 18. You intend to make use of Azure artifacts to share packages that you wrote, tested, validated, and deployed. You want to use a solitary feed to release several builds of each package. You have to make sure that the release of packages that are in development is restricted. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A, you should make use of static code analysis. Option B, you should make use of views. Option C, you should make use of dynamic code analysis. Option D, you should make use of upstream sources. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, you should make use of views. Question 19. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. To find when common open source libraries are added to the code base, you should add Jenkins to the build pipeline. Select no adjustment required if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, Select the accurate option. Option A. No adjustment required. Option B. Source gear vault. Option C. White source. Option D. OWASP zap. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option C, white source. Question 20. Your company has an Azure DevOps project, which includes a build pipeline that makes use of roughly 50 open source libraries. You have been tasked with making sure that you are able to scan project for common security weaknesses in the open source libraries. Which of the following actions should you take? Option A. You should create a build task and use the white source bolt service. Option B. You should create a deployment task and use the white source bolt service. Option C. You should create a build task and use the chef service. Option D. You should create a deployment task and use the chef service. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. You should create a build task and use the white source bolt service. Question 21. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. Black duck can be used to make sure that all the open source libraries conform to your company's licensing criteria. Select no adjustment required if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. Option A. No adjustment required. Option B. Maven. Option C. Bamboo. Option D. CMAKE. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A, no adjustment required. Question 22. You have created an Azure DevOps project for a new application that will be deployed to a number of Windows Server 2016 Azure virtual machines. You are preparing a deployment solution that allows for the virtual machines to maintain a uniform configuration and also keep administrative effort with regards to configuring the virtual machines to a minimum. Which of the following should be part of your solution? Choose 2. Option A. Azure Resource Manager templates. Option B. The PowerShell desired state configuration. DSC. Extension for Windows. Option C. Azure Pipeline Deployment Groups. Option D. The custom script extension for Windows. Option A. Azure Pipeline Stage Templates. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. Azure Resource Manager templates. Option B. The PowerShell desired state configuration. DSC. Extension for Windows. Question 23. Your company has an application that contains a number of Azure App Service web apps and Azure functions. You would like to view recommendations with regards to the security of the web apps and functions. You plan to navigate to compute and apps to achieve your goal. Which of the following should you access to make use of compute and apps? Option A. Azure Log Analytics. Option B. Azure Event Hubs. Option C. Azure Advisor. Option D. Azure Security Center. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option D, Azure Security Center. Question 24. You need to consider the underlined segment to establish whether it is accurate. Your company has a multi-tier application that has its front end hosted in Azure App Service. To pinpoint the average load times of the application pages, you should make use of Azure Event Hubs. Select no adjustment required if the underlined segment is accurate. If the underlined segment is inaccurate, select the accurate option. Option A. No adjustment required. Option B. Azure Application Insights. Option C. Azure Log Analytics. Option D. Azure Advisor. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B, Azure Application Insights. Question 25. Your company makes use of Azure SQL Database Intelligent Insights and Azure Application Insights for monitoring purposes. You have been tasked with analyzing the monitoring using ad hoc queries. You need to utilize the correct query language. Solution. You use the contextual query language. CQL. Does the solution meet the goal? Option A. Yes. Option B. No. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B number. Question 26. Your company makes use of Azure SQL Database Intelligent Insights and Azure Application Insights for monitoring purposes. You have been tasked with analyzing the monitoring using ad hoc queries. You need to utilize the correct query language. Solution. You use the Transact SQL. Does the solution meet the goal? Option A. Yes. Option B. No. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B number. Question 27. Your company makes use of Azure SQL Database Intelligent Insights and Azure Application Insights for monitoring purposes. You have been tasked with analyzing the monitoring using ad hoc queries. You need to utilize the correct query language. Solution. You use Azure Log Analytics. Does the solution meet the goal? Option A. Yes. Option B. No. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B number. Question 28. You are in the process of building a mobile app aimed at Android and iOS devices. All work items and release cycles are managed via Azure DevOps. You want to make sure that crash reports for issue analysis is collected, and that beta releases are distributed to your testers. Also, you want to ensure that user feedback on the functionality of new apps is received. Which of the following must be part of your solution? Option A. The Microsoft Test and Feedback extension. Option B. OWASP app. Option C. TFS integration platform. Option D. Code style. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. The Microsoft Test and Feedback extension. Question 29. You manage an Azure web app that supports an e-commerce website. You need to increase the logging level when the web app exceeds normal usage patterns. The solution must minimize administrative overhead. Which two resources should you include in the solution? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. An Azure Automation Runbook. Option B. An Azure Monitor Alert that has a dynamic threshold. Option C. An Azure Monitor Alert that has a static threshold. Option D. The Azure Monitor Auto-Scale Settings. Option A. An Azure Monitor Alert that uses an action group that has an email action. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option A. An Azure Automation Runbook. Option B. An Azure Monitor Alert that has a dynamic threshold. Question 30. You have a Microsoft ASP.NET Core web app in Azure that is accessed worldwide. You need to run a URL ping test once every 5 minutes and create an alert when the web app is unavailable from specific Azure regions. The solution must minimize development time. What should you do? Option A. Create an Azure Monitor Availability Metric and Alert. Option B. Create an Azure Application Insights Availability Test and Alert. Option C. Write an Azure function and deploy the function to the specific regions. Option D. Create an Azure Service Health Alert for the specific regions. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is option B. Create an Azure Application Insights Availability Test and Alert. Question 31. You have a multi-tier application. The front end of the application is hosted in Azure App Service. You need to identify the average load times of the application pages. What should you use? Option A. Azure Application Insights. Option B. The activity log of the app service. Option C. The diagnostics logs of the app service. Option D. Azure Advisor. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A, Azure Application Insights. Question 32. Your company uses ServiceNow for incident management. You develop an application that runs on Azure. The company needs to generate a ticket in ServiceNow when the application fails to authenticate. Which Azure Log Analytics solution should you use? Option A. Application Insights Connector. Option B. Automation and Control. Option C. It's Service Management Connector. ITSM. Option D. Insight and Analytics. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C, it's Service Management Connector, ITSM. Question 33. You use Azure SQL Database Intelligent Insights and Azure Application Insights for monitoring. You need to write ad hoc queries against the monitoring data. Which query language should you use? Option A. Custom Query Language, KQL. Option B. PL, PGSQL. Option C. PL, SQL. Option D. Transact SQL. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A, Custom Query Language, KQL. Question 34. Your company creates a web application. You need to recommend a solution that automatically sends to Microsoft Teams a daily summary of the exceptions that occur in a application. Which two Azure services should you recommend? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. Azure Logic Apps. Option B. Azure Pipelines. Option C. Microsoft Visual Studio App Center. Option D. Azure DevOps Project. Option A. Azure Application Insights. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option A, Azure Logic Apps. Option E, Azure Application Insights. Question 35. Your company is building a mobile app that targets Android and iOS devices. Your team uses Azure DevOps to manage all work items and release cycles. You need to recommend a solution to perform the following tasks. Collect crash reports for issue analysis. Distribute beta releases to your testers. Get user feedback on the functionality of new apps. What should you include in the recommendation? Option A. The Microsoft Test and Feedback extension. Option B. Microsoft Visual Studio App Center integration. Option C. Azure Application Insights widgets. Option D. Jenkins integration. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B, Microsoft Visual Studio App Center integration. Question 36. You have an Azure DevOps project named Project 1 and an Azure subscription named Sub 1. Sub 1 contains an Azure Virtual Machine Scale set named VMSS1. VMSS1 hosts a web application named WebApp1. WebApp1 uses stateful sessions. The WebApp1 installation is managed by using the custom script extension. The script resides in an Azure storage account named SA1. You plan to make a minor change to a UI element of WebApp1 and to gather user feedback about a change. You need to implement limited user testing for the new version of WebApp1 on VMSS1. Which 3 actions should you perform? Each correct answer presents part of the solution. Note: each correct selection is worth 1 point. Option A. Modify the load balancer settings of VMSS1. Option B. Redeploy VMSS1. Option C. Upload a custom script file to SA1. Option D. Modify the custom script extension settings of VMSS1. Option A. Update the configuration of a virtual machine in VMSS1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. Upload a custom script file to SA1. Option D. Modify the custom script extension settings of VMSS1. Option A. Update the configuration of a virtual machine in VMSS1. Question 37. You are monitoring the health and performance of an Azure web app by using Azure application. Insights. You need to ensure that an alert is sent when the web app has a sudden rise in performance issues and failures. What should you use? Option A. Custom events. Option B. Application Insights Profiler. Option C. Usage Analysis. Option D. Smart Detection. Option A. Continuous Export. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option D. Smart Detection. Question 38. You have a private GitHub repository. You need to display the commit status of the repository on Azure boards. What should you do first? Option A. Configure multi-factor authentication (MFA) for your GitHub account. Option B. Add the Azure Pipelines app to the GitHub repository. Option C. Add the Azure Boards app to the repository. Option D. Create a GitHub action in GitHub. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. Add the Azure Boards app to the repository. Question 39. You are integrating Azure Pipelines and Microsoft Teams. You install the Azure Pipelines app in Microsoft Teams. You have an Azure DevOps organization named Contoso that contains a project named Project 1. You subscribe to Project 1 in Microsoft Teams. You need to ensure that you only receive events about failed builds in Microsoft Teams. What should you do first? Option A. From Microsoft Teams, run at Azure Pipelines subscribe https dev azure.com Contoso Project 1. Option B. From Azure Pipelines, add a publish build artifacts task to Project 1. Option C. From Microsoft Teams, run at Azure Pipelines subscriptions. Option D. From Azure Pipelines, enable continuous integration for Project 1. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option C. From Microsoft Teams, run at Azure Pipelines subscriptions. Question 40. You have an Azure DevOps organization named Contoso. You need to receive Microsoft Teams notifications when work items are updated. What should you do? Option A. From Azure DevOps, configure a service hook subscription. Option B. From Microsoft Teams, configure a connector. Option C. From the Microsoft Teams Admin Center, configure external access. Option D. From Microsoft Teams, add a channel. Option A. From Azure DevOps, install an extension. Choose the correct answer. Correct answer is Option B. From Microsoft Teams, configure a connector.